Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Monday.
I'm interested in actually figuring out what to get people on my holiday shopping list. The ones that I haven't locked some idea down for just yet. And you try to do a little research, window shopping to take a look. And why is it easier? Why is it easier to find things for yourself than it is for the people that are on your list? Constantly throughout the weekend, as I had, a spare minute to take a look and try and do a little bit of that shopping research, pre-shopping research. There's so many things where I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. That'd be cool. And I think I'm at an age now where I don't know how appropriate it is for me to actually put together a wish list. I did that as a kid for sure, and I thought it was helping, and I grew up in a, two different homes kind of thing for Christmas. I would spend time with mom, I spent time with dad, and I didn't want them to have to worry about getting the same thing, because it happened once or twice when I was a kid. They got the same gift from me because I asked for the same thing to two people, and they didn't communicate with each other. And I just thought, let's avoid that. And so I would put a big list together. But you know what happens when you hand a big list over to somebody of things that you want? They go, wow, you're greedy. I always felt that weird guilt. And now I think as an adult, I'm like flashing back to it in a big way. But hey, also, don't forget to treat yourself now and then. At the holidays is no different. I sincerely hope not, but maybe sickness flying at you as well. Seems to be just flying around everywhere in the last week or so. People everywhere, a little all the way to just, no, not coming in, can't do it. And I've been ducking and dodging it like, the plague. And everyone can relate to the, I'm too busy to get sick mentality. I don't know how many times I've heard it this last week. I'm too busy, can't handle it. And that can make us a bit desperate. I can. But I'm sorry to say, the chopped onion in the room thing, that absolutely does not work. That doesn't rest in any sort of scientifically confirmable space. You know what does have proven benefits, though? Eating the onion. Just eat it. You don't have to eat it raw. I mean, you can cook it, but still eat the onion. Legitimately antibacterial and packed with nutrients to boost the immune system. Don't cut up the onion. Don't leave a half in your socks or whatever. Unless you just like the smell.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruise FM.
Green Day, fresh off of the Grey Cup halftime show where they played 4 songs, kind of spanning the career because they did give us a brand new one from the album that hasn't even come out yet, but they have now also shared the track list for that album, Saviors, which is coming out January 19th specifically. Their 14th studio album, and the first one since 2020, and the father of all mother somethings in the name of it. This one is called Look Ma, No Brains. The American Dream is Killing Me, some of these singles that have come out. But Saviors, is the album, 15 songs on there. Every track has now been announced. But of course, you can't listen to every single one of them. Yet. Bon Jovi in the news, sharing a brand new Christmas track. Oh, we got a taste of it for you.
When the sky will shine a different kind of blue. Snow still falling, winds are calling, bringing laughter and good times.
All right, I'm into it. All right, it feels a little early still, but I mean, we're past mid-November. No, it's not. Brand new one called Christmas Isn't Christmas, just released. And we've also got some sad news to end off on. Kool and the Gang drummer George Funky Brown has now passed away at the age of 74, as tributes have been pouring out, and representatives for the band have been sharing the news.
Tuesday.
Where's the eggnog? Where is it at? This is not a question for me, but a question that a friend posed just last night to me, saying they were out in the grocery store and she could not find any at all. And I was thinking that is funny, because there's so many people who lament the fact that it comes out so early, but it really is a Thanksgiving kind of tradition too, and we had ours in October, and that's why we saw it so early. Now you look again and kind of like that false sense of security. Well, it was in there a minute ago. It's not there anymore. Why? Why not? It's coming. We're going to have plenty for December, for sure. We're not quite there yet, but the theory is, we got to thinking, the theory is all of the eggnog has been shipped to the United States for their Thanksgiving. They're going to be just downing the stuff, gallons of it. Just gone. Not on our shelves, not on their shelves either, in their fridge, in their glasses, in their stomachs. Okay, it's getting a little weird. We don't need to follow it that far, but you get the idea. My theory as to why there's no eggnog for us is we are just about to hit 1 month away from Christmas itself. That's because, the Thanksgiving turkey time down in the United States, they put it at a weird time. I don't know. I get it. It's the whole harvest thing. We're a colder climate. We do our harvest sooner. We winter for longer. So we have a better feast. That's just how I'm going to believe it is until the day I die. Time for another round of Depressing Holiday Gift Ideas. Yes, we started this off saying, hey, why not a Depression-era cookbook? Because, that's basically all the amounts of food that we can afford these days. Next up, birds. Birds is your idea. Just a whole lot of birds. I mean, that's what's like a ton of the gifts represented in the 12 Days of Christmas song are partridge, check. 2 turtle doves, 3 French hens, 4 calling birds. Look, we're already at 10 birds. There's a bit of a break with the 5 rings, but then you get hit with 6 geese a-laying and 7 swans a-singing. And you'd think it ends there, but some historians have circled back to those golden rings, and they may actually be referencing the rings around the neck feathers of pheasants. So that is at least 23 birds, possibly 28. And let's be clear, those birds were very likely not given as pets. Basically the Tudor equivalent of stock in the deep freeze for the winter. So, we're still talking about feeding ourselves with the Depressing holiday gift ideas. Birds is the way to go, if you even believe that they're real.
Hey Alexa, play the Steve Reeve podcast.
A badly kept secret, as well, it isn't anywhere close to here. It does seem like AC/DC will officially be going on tour in 2024. Now, they haven't announced it themselves. The problem is that the mayor of a German town, Munich, he's letting the world know that they will be playing the city's Olympic Stadium June 12th, 2024. Later on saying, I didn't know it was supposed to be a secret. Yeah, it was a city council meeting saying, hey, isn't this exciting? It's coming. AC/DC has yet to comment, but they probably will. Now, speaking of live shows, the Rolling Stones are going on tour once again, and they are calling it a North American tour. It doesn't quite count. I mean, first of all, no Mexican dates. That's part of North America, guys. But also, there's only one Canadian date, and it is in Vancouver. So, while everybody in Western Canada is laughing at Toronto for not getting it, most of Canadians are going, par for the course. Although, hey, Vancouver's still doable. That's July 5th of next year. Pre-sale's about to start. And Eric Clapton has now sold one of the most expensive guitars ever at auction, or at least one that he used to own. Nicknamed The Fool, the guitar was sold for $1.27 million at Julian's auction on Thursday of last week as a part of a 3-day music auction event called Played, Worn, and Torn. Whew. It's a lot of money. Listen to me now. Buying things for yourself right before birthdays or Christmas? Stop it. Cut that out. Your friends and family are struggling to figure out what to get you, and you're just getting it for yourself. This just happened to me, if you couldn't tell. The recipient doesn't know it yet, but their gift is in the mail for a birthday that's going to be coming up in a little bit. The gift itself, something I won't describe, but something that this person recently commented on someone else having, clearly wanting one of their own. Opportunity knocks for the gift giver, right? Well, I tried to make that happen, but then I just saw the thing in their possession just days ago. Makes it really difficult for people to be thoughtful when you're thinking about yourself right before a traditional gift-giving occasion. I'm just saying, it is all about you. Yes, it is. But also not really. I'm saying, I hope they really like the thing, because they're getting two.
Wednesday.
Hungry already this morning, especially because I'm seeing the excited posts from everybody down south about Turkey Day. It's American Thanksgiving tomorrow. About 88% of the population down there, and they have a bigger population than us, will be serving up some turkey on the table, or at least they will be intending to. So what's your over-under on deep-fried turkey-related injuries for this year? There are always some, especially when so few remember to properly thaw the bird ahead of time, which can take from 1 to 6 days. Just saying, we barely do that in time for ourselves, but at least you can control things a little bit better in the oven, and there's no chance of explosion and fireballs and things like that. Cooking oil flammable at about 375 Fahrenheit, and you're supposed to cook it like 350. Doing the math, you can figure that out. It can be dangerous sometimes if done well and properly. Of course, can be okay, but we've only done it once in my memory. Trying it one time in history, and I was just anxious mess the entire time. Thankfully, it cooks faster, but I'm just saying, don't do the injury with the exploding turkey, Americans. Might just be time to switch to ham, fam. The Rolling Stones on tour next year. They just announced it recently with details saying 16 live shows across North America. Of course, they do have one spot in Vancouver. Pretty cool, but doesn't really truly make it a North American tour. I digress. The funny part that people have zeroed in on is the extra information that this tour, very likely the farewell tour for the band, would be sponsored by the American Association of Retired Persons. Many people took that to be a gag, a bit of a joke, a little tongue-in-cheek, taking the piss, as it were. But no, it's accurate, actually accurate. So that's making people joke even more, saying, what, do the shows start at like 3 p.m.? They're going to be serving drinks alongside Metamuse. I don't know. We'll see. Kiss as well. They're on tour right now with their farewell tour, and unfortunately for fans in Ottawa last night at the Canadian Tire Centre, they didn't get to see the show. Fans were already showing up just before the doors actually opened to let people in the venue. It was announced due to an illness in the band party, they weren't going to be performing, and not a postponement. Last chance to see them on this end-of-the-road tour that began in 2018. Holy cow. They don't get a date. That's it. Money's coming back.
Thanks for listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruise FM.
Speaking of it getting, colder, I gotta say, I noticed something. The same parents who told us to close the front door because we aren't heating up the neighborhood, and flip side, to keep the fridge door closed when it's hot, are the same people that I've noticed getting those heated walkway mats for their front step that I see advertised all the time now. And I feel myself actively turning into one of my parents, thinking things like, you can't just waste energy like that. Just shovel the walk. You're not heating up the neighborhood. It comes for us all one day, doesn't it?
Thursday.
I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can bring myself to watch the Squid Game, the challenge. The fact that it exists makes me question whether anyone at Netflix actually ever watched the Squid Game show when it came out, but I am positive that the producer didn't. Of the game show, specifically. He's gone out on a shaky limb now to say the true theme of the original show was mostly about playing games. They did do that. He must especially mean all the guns and murder and dehumanization that went on. So much fun. But I don't mean to be on a high horse. If you've watched the game show and you've enjoyed, that's what entertainment is for. And in the end, the real Squid Game is the one we play with ourselves. Wow, that almost sounded deep. How about the real Squid Game is the friends that we made along the way? I don't know. Take your pick. Fan speculation and hope, I think, for a Young Avengers-style grouping of the kids of the Beatles. The offspring of the Beatles members. There was a photo that was posted online by one such person. Zach Starkey, who is the son of Ringo Starr, was with Sean Lennon, son of Yoko Ono and John Lennon, of course, and saying, hey, they had a great time hanging out together. Comment section meeting that went, hey, what if you guys tried this? His answer has been absolutely hilarious to the prospect of the team up, which might include George Harrison's child Danny as well. He said, if we had spent 3 years sleeping on flea-infested mattresses in the back room of a Hamburg club, it might have chemistry. But we have been swaddled in silken robes in houses so big, it's too far to go and make a piece of toast. And they're not interested in doing that whole thing. Speaking of kids performing, though, Scott Ian of Anthrax said his 12-year-old son had the most incredible time jamming out with the Foo Fighters, sharing a video. His name's Revel, and he was playing Pat Smear of Anthrax's Les Paul alongside everybody in the band, Dave Grohl and the rest, having, I'm sure, the most incredible time. They love to jam out with the younger artists, which is so cool to see. Have you heard about the butter candle trend? It is American Thanksgiving today. I don't know why they keep it so close. I love having like a couple months between the Thanksgiving meal and then like the big holiday meal as well. I wouldn't want to do that 1 month apart. But that's what they're doing down south today. Get ready for the fresh crop of videos of the deep fried turkey mishaps, of course. And this trend, the butter candle trend, is not going to be as explosively entertaining as all that. Cannot wait to watch those videos, but I still feel like some flaky dinner rolls are absolutely going to catch fire and get thrown across the room. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the trend is you melt some butter, add some aromatics to flavor to taste, then add it to the center of some sort of freeze it in a little paper cup or some little plastic cup, candle wick in the middle, and then add it to the center of a loaf of bread and dip that bread in the melted wax butter combo. Wax flavoring, delicious. I'm just good with a butter knife. Thank you. That's too fancy for me.
Friday.
Perhaps not ready to do the thing today. It's Black Friday, the biggest shopping day of the year, and an undertaking that you really shouldn't take lightly, especially for places, those places that end up on the news. You know what I'm talking about. Thankfully, it's a little more subdued here. But Black Friday, so named because, in the days of paper ledgers for stores, anything that it was in the negative was inked in red. And it was a day of the year to try and, put some sales out there, encourage shopping, bolster the entire economy, and turn those red pages in the ledger into black pages, meaning some profit by the end of the year. And, that's what the story is. And anyway, that's what they say. I honestly think that the Black Friday black part comes from what I see once I tally up all of the totals of everything that I've spent and can only see the back of my eyelids for a little while there. I'm talking about blacking out. It's expensive. And the video speaks to you and you watch it 38 million times in a row. That's me this morning watching a Burger King Whopper, a giant inflatable one, rolling through the streets of Portland, Oregon. I guess this happened earlier in the month, but at 6:55 a.m. on the date in question, this giant Whopper freed itself from its tethers like a giant Kaiju of some kind and was rolling through the streets. The security cam footage is incredible. I was crying laughing watching this. It's just rolling through. I mean, it takes out like an American flag and gets jammed between two buildings before it pauses to decide where to wreak more havoc next. I don't know how it was caught. I don't know what happened. I assume probably it snagged and popped or something like that somewhere. But for the time being, we have to assume that it's still out there, whopping around, rolling into businesses, causing all kinds of trouble, and making any of the kaiju watching just absolutely salivate. Have it your way.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruise FM.
The heat has definitely been turning up with Daryl Hall and John Oates. Daryl Hall in a legal battle with his former bandmates, and still performing a whole bunch of Hall & Oates hits. Just yesterday at a concert in Japan at the Tokyo Garden Theater, a bunch of the Hall & Oates catalog of music was performed by only one of the two, of course. Now, they've been feuding, and there's been a interesting legal thing going on that the details of which are not public knowledge, so it's really hard to tell exactly what's going on, but a restraining order, temporary, going into effect on November 30th, is part of the proceedings. Green Day is saying that their brand new album that's going to be due out in January is a gap bridger between Dookie and American Idiot, some of their best albums, and so they also agree with, and it does say it is the best of their career. New album called Saviors, with songs like The American Dream Is Killing Me and Getting Back Into Political Writing being at the forefront. It's their 14th studio album. This isn't exactly new. It's a reskin of an old song that was a one-hit wonder from Wheatus. What the hell is this? Just discovered this yesterday, and apparently it was posted 3 days ago. They Christmasified Teenage Dirtbag. Here's the latest from Wheatus, just a taste.
Know who I am. Does Santa Claus even care about me? 'Cause I'm just a Christmas dirtbag, baby.
Oh, Yeah, they did it. They did this. This is a real thing. If you're curious, go listen to the entire thing, all 4 minutes and 13 seconds of it, like I did. And I don't think I can go through with it one more time.
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruise FM.